Yeah. We actually had the pleasure of actually attending one of those during
Yes.
the pandemic. Yeah,
Yeah.
that was amazing and brilliant, and both the win-win for you and your friend.
Yeah.
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 Obviously, with being a performer, entertainer, and being
Yeah.
a DJ and all, uh, you could probably develop some like being a little bit nervous. So,
Yeah.
in your way, how do you settle your nerves before you go on stage and do a performance?
Well, there's a couple of different ways. Being born without that part of your brain where you're like, I don't want to perform, I don't want to do this, right?
Yeah.
So a lot of people, everybody can approach entertainment or doing a task in different ways. I'm not an engineer. I am not a mathematician. I'm not a this or a that, right? And sometimes I just get really nervous. Like when I work for not the Jazz, I work for the NBA on occasion, setting up radio equipment where we're sending signals back to their uh, cities, and I get really nervous at times because I think I'm going to screw it up.
Yeah.
An engineer is going to come in and be like, "Oh yeah, I can do this," right? So I'm just kind of giving you the basis for different skill sets. Now, if you get nervous, that is fine. I also tell people if you don't get nervous, that if you do get nervous, that means you care. But to get over your nerves, the most important thing you can do is be prepared. Rehearse, be prepared, and know what you're about to do. So those are some things you can do in advance. Another thing is speaking it into existence. I always tell people to do this. Speak it into existence before you perform, before you go on air, before you step in front of an audience. I will be brilliant. I will be fun. I will be entertaining. I won't get nervous. And just tell yourself these things. I think another way is also to have an anchor, to have somebody that you can look at, somebody that is going to smile at you, right? Go out onto the stage, go out in front of people, have a party, and bring them along with you. Some of the hardest things you can do is getting people who are just staring at you, don't care, and getting them to rise to the level. I think most audiences want you to succeed. They want to be entertained. They're not expecting you to go out there and be like, "Oh, this guy's going to suck." I know right away. But they want to be entertained. And so I think those are some of the things you should keep in mind. So be prepared. Preparation does breed confidence. Being confident with what you do and being able to overcome those things just takes a matter of time, and everybody can do it.
Yeah. And to finish up our interview, we have one last question, and it is known as the big question. Are you ready?
Oh boy. Yeah, here we
All
go.
right.
The big question.
What advice would you give to the younger youth or generations in like possibly following a career in becoming a DJ and an entertainer?
I think every generation, so the generation that came ahead of you or that's after you, or no, ahead of you, so myself.
Yeah.
Let's say I'm 20 years ahead of you.
Yeah.
Some people are kids these days. Kids don't know this. Kids don't know that, right?
Yeah.
But I am always impressed with the resilience of what the youth can do. I think one of the biggest challenges and obstacles we've had over the last 2 or 3 years is the youth have been isolated. They have been in homes. They have been doing school on Zoom and all these different things. We're now more connected than ever on social media, right? But are we connected with people in general?
Yeah.
I think the most important thing that I do is I have expanded my community by going to events, by going to speaker conferences, DJ conferences, meeting my mentor, leaving Utah. I came back to Utah. I love Utah, but I think it's always important to stretch your wings, go out, and go beyond your immediate community. If you're stuck here for now, find somebody who's already doing it.
Yeah.
don't just resort to watching YouTube videos. Don't just resort to trying to figure it out on your own. There's somebody else who's gone out there, have had the pain, and have tried to figure it out as well.
Yeah.
So why not find somebody? I think that's the most important thing. And as an entertainer, one of the most important things for me to do is just travel the world and meet new people and have new experiences. So the gist of it is human connection. Connect with people, find opportunities either to do a podcast interview, to watch them in action, to shadow them, to find a mentor. I think that's the most important thing as youth, is to go outside your doors and meet people and start doing. Just start doing it and start meeting people.
Yeah. That sounds amazing. And we just want to thank you from the bottom of our hearts so much for joining us on the show today. I hope you had a great time, and I hope the questions were fun and entertaining for you.
Yes.
We just appreciate you taking the time to be with us on the show.
Well, I appreciate what you're doing with this platform, this opportunity to get the message out and being able to connect with your audience. I think the most important thing the youth can do today is something different. Be unique, be a unicorn, and lean into what you do best. So I applaud you for that.
All right. Thank you so much. We appreciate it. And do you have any projects in the work that you'd like to share with our audience?
Any projects? Not really. I think one of the most important things that I'm doing right now is just expanding what I'm doing as a keynote speaker. I have a keynote that I love to give to audiences, corporate audiences, and even youth. I think I would love to expand what I'm doing, and it's called Be the First One on the Dance Floor.
Right.
And it's a keynote about courage and being fearless and being able to take people along with you, creating a movement. And so as I'm working on that keynote, I've been working on it for 6 years. And it's ever evolving, and it's always getting better, and I'm always trying to find more opportunities to share. And so that's one of my biggest projects, is just refining and finding new audiences to share that message with.
Yeah, that sounds incredible, and we can't wait to see it. Thank you so much for joining us. And yeah, thanks.
Thank you, Ivan. Thank you, Ezra, and Armani.
Yeah. All right. That's all we have for you guys on the Three Peaks podcast. Thank you so much for tuning in, and we'll see you guys next time.